I can always notate when he comes in the minutes, that's what,
There's an honor student that asked me to sign a paper that he wants to go around and clean up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if that includes tires or not, but it's a community service thing. That's what I-
Okay. Maybe we do. From the library, tell me that from the library.
Nobody wants to pay to get rid of them, that's why.
Sure. Also, we're gonna have to address it when it's too expensive.
Well, then I'd like to call the meeting to order. Start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Needham, Councilman Bill, Supervisor Runyon,
Here.
Councilman Brown,
Here.
Councilman Galusha.
Here.
Okay, first order of business is we'll open the floor for privilege of the floor. Did you want to speak about the library advertising?
Sure.
All right.
Mary Bell, Richards Library.
Yeah.
Just here to give you an update of what's happening with us. There's always a lot going on over there. Just want you to know that. We have computer help if you have a computer that's crashing and you don't know what's wrong with it. Because I had an issue a bit ago and it took him 2 hours, but he got me back up.
Oh,
He's very good over there when he does it. So don't hesitate, it's free. Going. And there's a class on the 23rd of this month. If you need help choosing a new computer and you don't know what you need or what you're looking for, he's has knowledge of all of that stuff. So if you or you know someone who does need help with that, ship them over there.
okay.
Sewing with Sarah is a monthly thing. She has many years of experience with sewing. She'll help you with materials, with projects, if you have an issue with your machine. She's very good at what she does. There's a painting class on the 30th with Patrice. It's a lot of fun. If you know anyone that wants to call and sign up and get on the class, go for it because it fills up fast. It is a lot of fun though. I know.
Is it, what kind of painting is it? Watercolors or?
It's, no, it's, I don't know what kind of paint it is. It's not watercolor.
Oil?
No,
Acrylic?
acrylic.
Oh, okay.
And it's a lot of fun. And nobody judges you. No judging. Trust me, I know. Stop in for Halloween. They're giving lollipops out to the kids. And then on November 8th, we're having a repair shop. If you have something that needs to be worked on, a lot of the people in our communities come in to help people fix things that they are having a problem with. Bring in. That's 9:30 to 11:30 on November 8th. And currently, we're looking for a maintenance handyman. If you know someone who has the experience, have them stop at the library to see Shelby Burkhart, and she will gladly give them the information and see what they can offer us, and hopefully get a job.
And what type of handyman, like around the
All
property?
around the property, inside, things that may need to be fixed or implemented. We have ongoing things that need to be done that aren't finished. We don't no longer have a handyman and we're looking for one.
All right, thank you, I'll pass that on.
You're welcome. Does anyone have any questions? No?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful evening.
You as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Yes, sir. So Friday night, movie night at the rec field, we're gonna watch Wild Robot for the Youth Commission, starts at 7:15. There will be, refreshments and drinks there available for purchase of $1, the movie is free. October 25th is our trick or treat trail, also at the rec field from 5 to 9 p.m. And that's all for the Youth Commission for the month of October, other than the renovations on the inside of the room that are coming along nicely.
yeah, it does look really nice.
I'm excited about it.
She's been painting the youth building all winter summer.
Good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Could you tell me how much money is in the coronavirus fund?
Yes, I can. Well, right now it's
$779.
Yeah, that's not what's in, that's the total number. All the expenses have to come off of that.
Shouldn't you be subtracting expenses as you spend it?
Well, I would do it, I wanna do it when they're all done for the year, so I only have to do it at one time. But I'm waiting for the concrete for this to be finished, and then I was gonna do all my journal entries then. It just gets moved over into revenue, that's what happens with it. And it will remove all the negatives that are in there that are allocated to that. Like the
You
grant.
spent $53,000 last year, correct?
What?
You spent $53,000 last year?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I just, don't, if you spent 53,000, it still says 120, it's kind of deceiving. That you.
Yeah, because I haven't done any of that entries to move that money over.
Is that a different packet?
What?
Is that a different packet? From what I have?
No, that's not in the packet, that's just privilege of the floor conversation.
Where did we get that information?
It's on every monthly
Yeah.
report.
From the financials. Yeah. That's the total that we received from,
The reason I ask is because Schenectady County this week on our local news gave back $53 million of their ARPA money because they didn't use it. And we don't have contracts to use the $120,000 of ours, so how is it being
well,
spent?
we have contracts for the things we did at the December meeting last year that we had to do by the end of the month. But there were things that were spent prior to that, which didn't need a contract. If you spent it, you were okay. It was only if you were gonna hold on to the money after, but ours was spent. It's just not journaled out into the revenue yet. It is spent.
All of it?
No, I'm waiting to do the concrete work and stuff.
I should.
Oh, all of
I
it is
should
allocated.
yes, that's what I was.
Okay, all of it is allocated,
So we
yes.
won't be returning anything?
No, we will not be
Okay,
returning.
that was my
anything.
question.
Yeah,
I didn't phrase it properly. Sorry.
it scared me for a second, but no, we're not returning anything, everything was allocated, and there were several contracts that we had, one was the furnace, one was the ramp, and we had another one, I just don't know off the top of my head.
But you didn't follow any procurement policy, correct? You didn't get bids for any of them projects. According to federal law, you have to have 3 bids, a contract, and you need to follow the procurement policy, and anything that you spend over $25,000 needs to be advertised in the newspaper.
I don't know if that's actually true for that.
Where did you read that, Brian?
On ARPA, the ARPA, if you get on ARPA on the internet, it tells you what you have to follow to use ARPA money.
Is that also for if you've gotten 10 million or less and you're doing revenue recovery? Cause I'm not so sure that applies.
Well, anything over $25,000, you have to advertise in the local paper. Anything under $25,000, you need a signed contract and 3 bids. Our procurement policy in town, anything over $2,000, you need 3 bids.
I'll have to check because I'm not so sure that's accurate, but I'll check on that. I did get the 3 bids for the ramp, and as far as the furnace and the air conditioning for the cooling station, we use GA both because they do all of our
That's me. The whole idea of the procurement policy is just to call 3 different companies and get 3 bids. We don't do that. I know that you could have bought the 2 buildings up at the transfer station in Whitehall for $5,000 a piece, roughly 5,000 or 6,000. Same buildings, same sizes. That's a difference of what, $5,000 between the 2 of them?
I'm not so sure about that.
In what you read, did it say what the penalty was if you didn't follow
Well, if you don't follow the federal procurement policy, you have to give the money back. And if that's the case, who's responsible for the money that's spent? Is that the taxpayers or
So,
you?
do you have to do a report of how we spent the money?
Yep, I
Do
do.
they ask for documentation of this stuff?
No?
No, you don't.
So it's only if we get audited?
Well, according to the treasury report, we spent $53,000. None of them had everything that I read that was on the treasury report that never had bids put out for it. I mean, are they gonna come back and say, you didn't follow the procurement policy and your taxpayers are liable for what you spent? Because Schenectady just don't get $53 million back because,
But they're over 10 million, so they have different rules than we do. We're doing revenue recovery.
yeah, the taxpayer there is the same thing here. Taxpayers matter now.
Well, they're,
Because they didn't spend that money to save the taxpayers' money. What we're spending it on could've came out of that ARPA account that went to the treasurer's office and been subtracted from the coronavirus and been done with. But we waited till December 30th, and everything that was on the treasury's report wasn't anything to do with the December 30th, where you were spending $120,000. That was all stuff that was before, but he claimed in the treasury report that we used ARPA money for. Correct?
I'm sorry, I'm not following that. As of December 31st, we had certain things, but not all the money.
On December 30th, you had a meeting. You had $120,000 we need to allocate somewhere. Well, you don't allocate for something that's already been paid for out of the budget line in 2022 and 2023 that is on the treasury report that you filed in April of this year.
Well, there were things that were paid for prior to, so they didn't need to,
Yeah, but they were subtracted out of the budget line, not out of ARPA money.
and then ARPA money will be moved over to cover that.
That's legal.
Yeah, that's how it works. Your money sits in that holding account, 688, and then when you spend it, which I wanted to wait till I was done because before I do my report, I'll just do all my entries. It's spent, I know it's spent. I have a list upstairs of what's spent, and then all I do is, I just talked to Williamson Law about it the other day. All I do is move it over into a revenue account, do the other part of that entry onto the things that have the negatives that are like the ramp. There's a certain bunch of codes that have, and the building up there, the free store, certain things like that. And
But they've all been subtracted out of the budget line, correct? So you keep accumulating everything. till
yeah,
you
but
get
they
to
cause a
100.
negative. When I move the money from ARPA, it will become revenue for this year, which is the correct thing, and then it will balance out the cost of that on the ledger code account. That's how the entries work. Right now, it's in a holding account, and then it just gets moved into revenue, and that comes away from the cost. So, I mean, right now, yeah, it's a negative on some of those, but that's why, it's ARPA money. But I'll look into the
I need to read
procurement.
it over again because
There's a
in
whole,
2022 and 2023, you subtracted what you paid for supposedly out of an ARPA account. You subtracted out of a budget line that was, when you make the budget out, you put so much money in each budget line.
right,
You subtract, I don't understand how you can use ARPA money for something you already took out of the budget line. You're saying you can put the whole 120.
because you're reimbursing it.
You didn't reimburse it in 22 and 23, you're gonna reimburse the whole amount, 26.
Or 25, I'll be doing 25.
25.
Mhm.
So, the way I'm looking, the way I see it, there's $53,000 somewhere that when you go to move the $120,000, it's already been spent and you're putting that 120, is that $120,000 gonna be gone in 2025? So that $120,000 goes to
It
a
won't be gone,
taxpayer's credit?
it won't be gone, it'll be reduced, because there are some things that won't be, probably may not be paid until 2026, and we have till the end of 2026 to spend it.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, but I don't know, when you're talking about that other town with the 53 million, towns that got more than 10 million are in a totally different
Yeah,
category.
I understand that, I'm just,
Okay,
we're the small version of Schenectady County or Warren County, we're just a little person, that's why we only have $120,000 in our coronavirus.
yeah.
But they're looking at it as, they didn't spend that money, and,
And they didn't allocate it either, right? They didn't spend it or allocate it, or else they wouldn't have to be returning it.
what did we actually allocate on December 30th to pay for in 25 and 26?
I think we had three things with contracts, it was the ramp, it was the furnace, and there was one other, I think we had three with contracts. I don't remember what the other one was.
And you passed all of them allocations by board resolution, right? It was passed by the board.
Yeah, but a lot of those were spent already, we didn't need a contract for them if we spent it in 2024, then we didn't need a contract. We only needed contracts for what we were extending beyond 2025.
According to the website, any ARPA money has to have 3 bids and a signed contract, whether you spend it in 22, 23, 24, 25, or 26.
I don't think that's correct, because we're on revenue recovery, we're different, we didn't need to do that.
Okay, so the last question I ask was on December 30th, at that meeting, you had $120,000 to spend, and I believe you pretty much covered everything you were gonna spend it on, was all those allocations passed by board resolution.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you
But they
go,
were paid off, some of them were paid by the end of the year.
yes,
just
but
like
the
the
ones,
sinks,
the ones that
the
weren't
windows.
taken care of in December 24th, at, December 31st, all the money had to be spent, it didn't have to be
It had to be
paid for until
allocated.
2026.
It had to be allocated, yes.
And December 30th, the board voted to use the money on numerous things that were on the paperwork for ARPA money, to allocate it for, so it was gonna be spent,
Or it was already spent.
or it was already spent.
For instance, the AED, that was one of them, the AED for the youth building, we paid for that before the end of 2024. It was on the list.
But what came after December 31st of 2024 was passed to spend, what you may have spent this year, what you're gonna spend next year, was passed by board resolution that night. on December
Everything, it
30th.
had to be, yeah.
Well, if you go talk to Mr. Lynch, he'll tell you that you can't spend ARPA money by board resolution.
We could allocate it that way though, that's what we did.
No, you passed it by board resolution.
Why
You
can't we?
You can't, according to him, you can't spend ARPA money by board resolution.
Why not? How else would you do it?
Well, I believe you should have had your contracts and your 3 bids in place before you made a resolution to pass to spend the money.
We did have the contracts for the ramp and the air conditioning furnace combo.
You had one contract for that ramp. There's 10 places that do ramps in the Albany, Schenectady area. You had one bid. Correct?
No, I went to other companies too.
Well, they were never put on any paperwork that was publicized.
Well, I did go to at least 3 for the ramp. But my concern now is with the procurement, and I'll find out, but I'm pretty sure because we're 10 million or less and we're revenue recovery, we're different than that other place. And we did have the contracts for the 3 things that we extended into this year, and all the others were paid for prior to December 31st of 2024.
So I guess the last question, if you're right, everything's good, if what you're reading is wrong and the US Treasury Department comes looking for their money back, are you responsible?
I really don't, I think,
'Cause I don't think the taxpayer should be
Well, every time I submit the report, I spell out exactly what we were doing, every single thing. I told them about the furnace and air conditioning to be a cooling station, I told them about the ramp to be ADA compliant. Everything that I've put in there is explained, they've already read it, they already know what I'm planning to do. So I think if it wasn't correct, they would have gotten in touch with me.
So, as long as I know that the people that are making the decisions are gonna be responsible when they come looking for their money back, I'm fine with whatever you do. Because the taxpayer shouldn't be responsible for it, you're the ones making the decision.
I think
And I did my reading, I didn't come here just pulling the stuff out of my head.
Mm-hmm.
I've read it thoroughly, over and over again.
Well, I'll check on the procurement, but I don't believe that. I think we're revenue recovery and we're totally too small to have complied with a lot. And a lot of their stuff changed regularly too, so there's packets like this thick to read through for this, and in the beginning, you were very limited to what you could spend the money on. Then they
I don't
opened
think
it up.
that's not the case at all. You could have used the whole $120,000 towards the weekly pay of the highway department. That's actually what it was meant to do. To use procurement policy to pay during COVID, to pay for the weekly pay for highway employees or town employees.
Originally, ARPA money was supposed to be used for water, sewer, or broadband, but then they relaxed that. That was the original intent of it.
And I think you only could replace the revenue for the highway if they were out because of COVID. And our guys were not. There was only that one brief time when they were out.
That's the way I read it. It could be used to pay down, to
Well,
lessen the taxes on the taxpayer by paying down stuff, just like the building you bought, the 2 buildings you bought could all been paid for out of ARPA money, the furnaces all could have been paid out of ARPA money.
it was.
Painting of town hall could have been paid for it, painting of the pavilion could have been paid for it. I mean, you could have used all that up before December 30th last year, and it would have been a done deal because you used it before it became the last day to use it. And it would have lessened the taxpayer's bill every year that you used it up to 2024. Correct?
Well, I don't know about the painting, but,
Painting was,
probably could have done that. Yeah, probably could have used it for the painting. But it did go to the buildings, it did go to both those buildings up there, ARPA did. That is covered by ARPA. Both the building for the transfer station and the free stores through ARPA.
yeah. But it was taken out of the budget line.
It has to.
Why couldn't it have been taken out of the ARPA account? It's got an 8638 or whatever the number is. Well, why isn't each
As
thing
soon
that
as-
she's paid for out of ARPA, paid
ARPA's
for out
gonna
of
be-
an ARPA account?
The ARPA money's gonna reimburse those codes, all of them.
Okay, so that 120,000 will go into either the 2025 budget or the 2026, so with that amount of money going into it, we're still gonna have a budget meeting here. There's still gonna be, where does that $120,000 fall into the budget to make the taxpayer burden less?
When
Because you're gonna put it all into either 2025 or 2026.
It'll be, all the things spent in 2025, it will go to cover that. That's what, it'll move from the 688 code into, I think it's 480, I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's gonna move into another code and be classified as revenue and go against the codes where the expenses are. For instance, the transfer station code, say that, I don't remember what your building was, what 6,000?
9,000. 9,000.
For his building, for the transfer station building? Okay, so that's for example, 9,000 will come away from, it'll come out of that ARPA code where you see it.
Yeah.
It'll go into the revenue code, and then it will be applied against the expenses in the contractual code. Wherever that building is coded, it will come against that, and it will reduce the expense in that code in 2025. So all the money spent on ARPA will be moved over to be considered as a revenue for this year. But there will be a few of the expenses that aren't paid for yet, that we had the resolution to spend, like for that cement out there, that was one of the things. If that doesn't get done soon, it won't get done till next year, and that would be paid for, and then that balance will still be on the ARPA at the end of the year. It'll still show in that ARPA fund. At the end of this year, that ARPA fund will be reduced by everything except what needs to be paid in 2026. Anything that's not completed yet.
Do you think you're gonna have this sidewalk done this year?
I've been trying. I've had people come and look. I haven't received any quotes from them. I've had measurements taken, and I'm trying. I got another name today to call. I've called quite a few people here in town. Some don't call back. They're probably busy, but I need to have that whole thing ripped up, down to the dirt, and redone. And then the problem that I'm going to have is because of where it's located, it needs to have a section leading to the ramp right underneath that.
Flat section.
Yeah, I need a section there too. So if it's wet, I don't know how long it takes to dry concrete, but there won't be any access into here unless they do part of the front so you can still get into the door over there. Because that whole section's gonna be wet cement. How long does it take cement to dry? I don't know. Do
2
you-
days if you're,
How long?
2 days.
Okay,
To
okay.
walk on.
So if we did it on a Friday, we could open up on Monday? Perfect. Then that's what we'll try to do.
There's a lot of concrete companies out there. I can't believe that there ain't one that'll come and pour a sidewalk for you.
Well, I've had a couple people
I've
come.
been trying for 3 months to get a slab poured.
From
There's
Lowell's, or did you go with that
I'm
stuff?
going out of town, I'm going 100 miles
Yeah.
out of town, and some of them can't come till November at the earliest date.
Because they're pouring.
That's
I
right,
ran into the same
everybody's
problem.
busy right at the moment. I've been trying, I'm telling you, it's there, it's busy, and I've been trying for 2.5, 3 months.
Once the frost
Schedule.
goes in the ground, you probably aren't gonna
It's
pour.
just, they're just,
But the way it sits right now, if the county came, you would never pass inspection to come in the building because there's no way for someone in a wheelchair to get to that ramp.
I know, but I'm doing the best I can to get a concrete guy here, that's what I need. If you know anybody, tell them to call me, because I'd hire him right away. I need somebody to come and do it, but if I wanted to extend that ramp again, I would have had to have another 5-foot turn and go out to the driveway. And that would have been a lot more money, so. All I need is concrete poured right underneath that end of that, edge of that ramp.
You know, it's all gotta be attached into the sidewalk. If you're pouring the sidewalk and you.
Yeah, I
you're
needed
not
to,
gonna pour two different, that sidewalk and that little bit of concrete that you need underneath that ramp have to be connected. There's no strength to it. It'll just crack and.
it has to be one piece, right?
That's right.
But it has to have those divider things in the middle, like extension.
Expansion joints.
Yeah.
Good.
I know. I just can't find anybody to come. I've been calling, I've called local people, I've called people right over there on Route 9. I don't know whether they're all booked or what, but I've had it measured, I've had people come and look at it.
It's that time of year, everybody's pouring concrete to get ready for winter.
That's right. This ain't the time of year you're looking for somebody.
Bad time of year right now.
Well, did get another number today, so I'll try that. But
Gallatin.
Gallup didn't call me back.
There's a BJH or something, Howard and Chronicle. There's 3 or 4 concrete people in Chronicle.
I called,
All sidewalks, monolithic pours, foundation walls.
get them to show up
Well, just a telephone call.
now.
They'll
Hey,
tell
I've
you to
been
show
making
up.
phone calls, Brian, for 3 months, and everybody keeps putting you on hold. They show up and nobody ends up coming.
yeah,
That's the bottom line right now.
yeah, alright.
I got the paperwork I can show you and the phone calls
You
I
know,
made, if you
I
wanna see them.
know what concrete is. I tried to pour it in my barn and ended up not doing it because I
I
couldn't get
used to
somebody to
pour it
come.
when I was younger, and I'll tell you, this is tough to find somebody for the last 2-3 months. They're scheduled, they're busy.
Randy Miller, have you tried him?
Who?
Randy Miller? Chestertown, Friends Lake?
Like motivation
I'll try.
Getting back to the ARPA money, question for clarification. Presently, we don't have ARPA money in the 2025 budget, right? There's not a line for it.
No,
No.
no.
So it's basically, it's part of fund balance that's encumbered.
Yes, it's in a holding
Okay.
account, sort of like the judge's
So
money.
in order to bring it into this year's budget, we would have to modify the budget.
No, we don't have to modify.
We
the
don't have a
budget.
line for it in the budget.
You never had a line up for it.
No, there isn't a line,
You've had it since 20.
It would be a
There's
revenue.
no line in there for it.
Right.
it'll be a revenue code, a different revenue code. It won't go,
Maybe I don't understand budgeting, but if you're gonna add revenue to an existing budget, it has to come in under some code. And if there isn't one there, your budget won't be in balance if you bring in extra money.
well, it's sitting in our,
General fund.
yeah, it's on a balance sheet as a separate item, it's separate from everything else. And it will be moved into, it's not a revenue code like we have here, it's not part of this, it's separate it's separate totally from even the budget, it's used to cover the expenses that you incur that are in the budget. But the code for it is not one that shows on our revenue sheet. It's, I don't know how to explain it, it's sort of like the judge's money, that sits in a code that's not on here, and it's not revenue until we pay the comptroller's office and we know how much of it is ours, and then it shows on a code. But the ARPA money sits aside and we're spending it, for instance, we can find one maybe that's a negative that we can use on it. Here. Okay, buildings contractual. It says our budget's 35,000. We've so far spent 80. 45,000 of that is ARPA stuff. It's the ramp and it's windows and the furnace, that kind of thing. When we when we journal the ARPA money, it's gonna go into that other revenue holding account. It's sort of just transferring it to a different code as revenue. And then this negative will go away. So you don't see it as actual revenue on the budget. You see it as surplus, well, not surplus, but money sitting aside to cover expenses that are gonna go over your budget. Does that make sense?
Nope. I'm sorry, maybe it's just me.
No, it's.
I thought anytime you brought money into your budget that you had to bring it in under a revenue code. And if you've got money that's exceeding an expense and you're gonna bring money in, I don't know, Deb, I just don't understand it, it's just me, okay?
No, it's confusing. So these expenses that we put out for the ARPA covered items are not on this budget. They weren't anticipated to be on the budget.
Right.
We had ARPA money and we said, this is what we're gonna do with it. They're not in the budget. To put that ramp in there was never in this budget. Furnace,
Right.
never
I
in the
understand.
budget, none of it.
Yeah.
So now that is causing us, for that code to be negative.
Right.
When the ARPA money gets out of that ARPA code, that holding account code, and into that other revenue code that's not part of this, because it's not really money that we get from taxes or sales tax or any kind of earned type of money. It was government money, so it sits in a different code. And then the other side of this entry will be removing the ARPA expenses off the budget. It's sort of like Xing out on two sides, wiping it out. Does that make sense?
I guess I just don't understand the
Mhm.
bookkeeping of it. It's okay, we'll talk about it another time.
Yeah, once the entries are done, and then you can see it, it'll, because those expenses were not ever in the budget, all that stuff was never in the budget. It's an addition to the budget, and the ARPA will cover them. So, I don't know how better to explain it. Can we move on to resolutions, or do you have more?
No,
Okay.
not sure the answer, but
Well,
I'll look into it too.
I appreciate the concrete contacts, though. I appreciate that. You know, I have 3 more people now to call, so that'll be good. I'm hoping to get it done by frost, which is not long away from now. Don't say tomorrow.
Next week.
I was ready to start digging it up myself and have somebody feel sorry for me.
We can just watch YouTube, Deb, we'll just
Poor
do
women out there with a
ourselves.
ball axe, I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, I don't know. Then I thought maybe wood, if I put wood under it and made it level, I don't know, cause it's gonna shift, I don't know what to do. But anyway, I'll go on to the resolutions. The first resolution is to approve abstract 10 claims. Can someone bring that to the floor, please? Ed, okay, in a second?
I will.
Alright. Total of abstract 10 for the general fund for October 16th is $16,155 and 57 cents. And the total for abstract 10 for the highway fund for October 16th is $25,043.94 for total claims of $41,199.51. Any questions on any of the bills? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next is standard resolution to adopt a local law to override the tax levy. So far, the budget does not come close to overriding the tax levy limit, we're fine. But just in case, this is a good thing to do. You never know what'll happen between now and November 20th. So does anyone want to bring that to the floor?
I will.
Doug, okay. A second?
I will.
Randy. Whereas the purpose of this law is to allow an override of the town of Thurman's tax levy limit for fiscal year 2026. This is the wrong one. Oh, no, that's right. If it becomes necessary that the town of Thurman be able to adopt a budget requiring a tax levy greater than the tax levy limit for fiscal year 2026 because of increased costs. And whereas this local law is enacted pursuant to General Municipal Law, Section 3C, Paragraph 5, and is attached to this resolution for your review, be it resolved that the town board hereby allows an override of its tax levy limit for the fiscal year 2026 and is authorized to adopt a budget requiring a tax levy greater than that calculated according to General Municipal Law, Section 3C, 3C. And be it further resolved that this local law only applies to fiscal year 2026 and shall take effect upon filing with the Secretary of State. And like I said, you've all got a copy of the budget, you know that we're below the tax levy. Do you need to know what the tax levy is? Do you want me to tell you the number? I don't know if I wrote it in your packet when I sent it. Our tax levy is $1,404,668. And I have, this is off the comptroller website, showing the calculation, just so you know where I got the number from. And here's a copy for you. I wrote it because it's so hard to read, so I wrote it at the bottom. Okay. So then the pages after that is the local law. It's the same every year. It's right off the comptroller website. And the certification that Cynthia has to sign and send in. Like I said, I doubt very highly, I don't think we'll be barring any kind of extreme situation,
Okay.
we won't be overriding. Okay, does anyone have any questions about the override? No? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The next resolution is to approve budget adjustments, and behind that in your packet, I highlighted the ones that are on there. So, I'll go with the floor first. Anyone? Ed, okay, in a second? Whereas the town of Thurman has several account codes that are in the negative, and these must be rectified as soon as possible, be it resolved, the town board of the town of Thurman approves the budget adjustments listed below. The first one is the assessor contractual. On the 5th page, where it says page 3 of 10, it shows the assessor contractual is now in the negative $459.33. A lot of that has to do with her enrollment in the New York State Association of Assessors and the conference that she went to, which had 4 days of training, and I believe there's another class listed in there. So there was money left over, but we're now in the negative. And there's a few other classes, not all classes are through the Office of Real Property Tax. If they're through there, they're free. Any outside of that, we pay for, which is why I'm moving $1,000 over. One to cover this $459 and the balance to cover the cost of the other classes, which I'm not sure what they are yet, but I just wanted to do it one time and cover them. And I'm taking that out of the interest and earnings, because right now we have $5,687, which is on the very first page, shows you how much extra we have in interest. Okay?
Deb, I couldn't exactly tell who did the motion in second. I heard, but
Ed and Doug.
Ed did the motion?
Yep.
Okay, thanks. Thanks.
And right now she's on target to have all her courses done by the end of March. Like the whole 3 years worth by the end of March. The second is Office of the Aging, which is page 6 of 10. It's negative 500. That's a solid amount. What happened was what we pay for the senior bus, it's been $1,500 for a while, but it went up to $2,000. So I had to come up with the extra 500, and that's also going to come out of that interest and earnings code. So we're going to increase the revenue on the interest, and we're going to increase the budget Office of the Aging. Now, if you look at these expenses, and I'd like to have maybe before we do the budget workshop, maybe go over our numbers so I can explain some of the other negatives that are on here, but I can briefly go over some of them.
Should we finish this resolution first?
Sure, okay.
I mean, unless there's a reason to go with
No,
that.
there's not gonna be any more adjustments, I just wanted to cover that, but we could vote now. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So one's pretty good shape. The one we have is the buildings, that's page 4 of 10, and that is covered by ARPA. And yeah, we're not bad shape at all. Oh, the community garden, page 8 of 10, that's a $500 grant, that will be coming. And page 9 of 10, that's the free store building. And that's all we have. Highway, which I don't have anything in here for highway now, but I can let you know that highway does have a negative in their CHIPS funding because that funding hasn't come in yet. he'll be applying for the reimbursement, I think it's November 10th, and we should be getting 300, and I think it's 329 that we're gonna be getting. So. Okay. That's good. The last thing I have is the request for Maple Days funding. I don't have a resolution prepared for this one, it just came in yesterday, but what I wanna do with this is, there's an application for county funding. I wanna see what they're going to give first, before I know how much we need to give, because I don't know whether it's gonna be lower or more than what the request is. My meeting is Friday, tomorrow, and then my OPTAX meeting is Tuesday, and that's when we'll be voting. So I'll be promoting that they fund it totally when I go there, and I do believe that they're going to give some preference to first-time applications, which this is the first time Maple Days would be requesting any funding from the county, so I do believe that you'll be in good shape.
I normally have to completely recuse myself from this, but since I thought Robin was gonna be here, since she's not here, I just want to explain that the county requested that we
Right.
put in this application to the town
Right.
because they want the town to have buy-in.
Mm-hmm.
They don't wanna be totally funding it, they want the town to have some money in it.
Yeah, yeah.
So the expectation the county's gonna totally fund it is,
We'll fund your request, totally fund your request for them.
no, that's not what they want the town to fund part of the request.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was explained to us
Oh,
when we submitted it, and I think it's in their guidance, that's what they want the town to have, they called it buy-in to the
Yeah.
project, or to the event,
yeah, they want every town to do that for their local people, yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
that's why.
And they don't always, but they should.
The TCA had not intended to apply to the town, but the county requested that we do
Right.
that.
They do,
So,
yeah, they always ask that. So I'll know by Tuesday, we're gonna be voting on Tuesday, so, yeah.
I think the county wants to know on Tuesday whether or not,
Timeframe on this.
I think the county wants to know on Tuesday whether or not the town's gonna fund anything. You're kinda doing this and it's kinda chicken or the egg.
Yeah,
The county needs to know whether the town's gonna fund it so they know how much they're gonna put in, and you're flipping that around,
Yeah.
so.
well, I'll know when we're gonna be voting on Tuesday, so I think I need to know what they're gonna do first, because what if they're only gonna do partial? That's what they're deciding, are we gonna fully fund or partially fund, and how do we decide the partially funding? That's all being discussed now, so.
But I think we're miscommunicating here somehow. They need to know what the town's gonna do to know whether they're gonna fund the balance. If the town's gonna fund 10, then they'll fund the balance. If the town's not gonna fund the 10, then they have to figure out what level they're gonna fund the event at, which they want to know what the town's gonna do before they make their decision. So I think the board needs to make a decision tonight in order for the county to make their decision.
Does the county not take into consideration the 5 or 10 years prior that the town has given money for this event?
I'm not sure what that has to do with anything.
Yeah, that doesn't, I don't think so.
I just would think that like the town's already bought into this event many years already
Right.
with their part of what they get for OCTAC, so I just didn't know if the county considered that at all.
Not all the towns support them, as they should be. Not, some say, cause I have 315 pages of applications to read before Tuesday, and, some say 0 for municipal, they may ask and they get denied, and then they're gonna look at, whether or not your first time, how long you've been doing it, but they're looking more at how many times have you applied to the county for money, they're not looking at how long the event's been held locally.
No, I get
looking-
that, I just didn't know the buy-in part for them, like, if they have to be the same fiscal year or not,
Right.
apparently it does.
They will look at the track record of the event, the success of the event,
Yep.
how effective it is at putting heads in beds.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, I don't think we need to make a decision now, but if you want to, I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
I'm just telling you what the county told me.
Yeah, I know, that's what they want. So it says on the estimated expenses, 31,725. And when you subtract out what the county ask is, that leaves 5,000. So I'd be comfortable voting yes to 5,000, able to change it if they don't fund it fully. I would be happy to do that, so that you meet your 31,725, and if they go lower, we can alter that. But if we have to vote right now, that's what I would vote. Do you guys have any idea on what you want to do? Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say what we requested, I didn't say it, I did.
Oh, it does, that's
It doesn't
public
matter.
information.
Okay.
We can always change it.
Yeah,
These are all
I
public
just didn't
documents.
wanna, yeah, okay. So if you're asking total 31,725, and the county ask was 26,725, at least 5,000. So if they were to be fully funded by the county with their request, 5,000 would bring them up to what they put on the total expenses. Does that sound good?
And if they
And-
don't,
and
they
if they
still
don't,
come back.
We can read,
Do increase it.
yeah,
Sound okay? Like a plan.
he.
Oh, I know you did.
I
just
just gave you
talking out loud.
information,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
I'm
part
just-
of the decision.
I'm just talking out loud.
Yeah.
No.
So that's what we'll do. We'll
I
do a
think
motion
that-
right now,
that
so
would
that
be
I
good.
can tell them something when I go there.
I didn't realize it was getting that late for these things.
Motion for.
Well, the county does everything, and the applications have to be in September. They go before the board in October, the awards are done in November.
Yeah,
And normally, most of the events they deal with are summertime events, but Maple Days comes early, so
So
Yeah.
you want me to bring
The
this on the floor?
work
Yeah,
has
do
to
that,
start
yeah.
early.
Okay, I'll
Let's
bring
bring
this
it
to the floor, Cynthia.
Doug will
Okay.
have to second it.
Doug, did you second it? Okay.
Mhm. So it's a motion to allocate $5,000 to Maple Days. Out of op tax. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Can I recuse myself?
And then I meet with them tomorrow and Tuesday, I'll let them know, and we'll be voting Tuesday. Someone's coming to give a presentation, right, on
Yes.
Tuesday? Who's coming, right? Is it Robin or?
Robin and I will probably be there.
Okay, good. There's only 5, so you don't have to sit through the whole day like we used to do. We used to, that hall would be packed with people to give a
Yeah.
Well, it's
presentation.
only new applicants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm. All right, all in favor, we already did that, said aye. Okay. Okay. Now, the only other thing that I have is to start planning the budget workshop, and we also need to schedule the public hearing for the first Thursday after election, which I think is November 6th.
November 6th for the public hearing?
Yeah, November 6th. November 6th, that's the public hearing. And we're looking at October or something we'll start our budget workshop.
Same time as usual.
Yeah, whatever day, I'm at meetings on Tuesday and, so
Lou's
someday.
out.
Yeah.
He's out again?
He's in front of town hall department
Right there.
trucks right now. Oh,
I'm telling you, that poor dog is gonna get run over. if
he's
he's
yelled
not
at by
careful.
trucks now.
Do you wanna do it for Thursday, the 23rd? At 4:30? Does that work for you? October 23rd?
Yeah.
We could start at
4:30?
4:30. It's a Thursday, October 23rd, for the workshop. And in between now and then, if there's anything that you want me to have prepared, if you wanna see, you know, how did I figure out what the retirement was gonna be, cause that really went up a lot. And I have like the preview, a preliminary bill from them, I have things like that that I can bring. If you have any questions or anything you want me to prepare, just email me and let me know.
I think in the comptroller's guidance on budget preparation, they usually request or advise or suggest a column of what was expended in previous years, so, because
Okay.
knowing what we budgeted last year is
Mhm.
only good if that's what we actually spent, but if,
Right,
you know,
you don't know.
keep
what it was
budgeting
over.
5,000 every
Yeah.
year when you're only spending 1,000 doesn't make much sense.
You wouldn't know if it got modified, right, okay, I think Williamson Law can print that
Yeah,
out for me. Okay,
so,
I'll just put actual. And if you think of anything else, just let me know. I don't think it's gonna be that difficult, really. Alright, so we have that, and I'm all set. I can open it up to privilege of the floor again, if anyone has anything they wanna talk about.
I got a question. Do we have a new deputy highway supervisor?
Yes, it is Darren.
Darren?
Mhm.
And he took over Bruce's spot
Yes,
for, September?
hmm,
When was he put in?
I don't know. Cynthia, you know when Darren took the oath?
He hasn't.
He has.
Oh, he hasn't taken the oath yet? Maybe he doesn't know he's supposed to.
doesn't he have a limited amount of time to do it, or
Yes.
is that just for elected officials?
No, that's for deputy supervisor Russell.
No, I don't think that.
He hasn't been in that long. Bruce just retired recently.
Yeah, he does, yeah, there is a certain amount of time, they give you time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, but I'll remind him because he may not know he has to do it.
And tell Pat, thanks for cutting the trees back on Dippy Hill Road.
Oh,
They did a nice job.
yeah. Robert, I know, has been doing some of that mowing too, and he goes real slow, so it does it really nice.
No, they cut the trees back,
Oh, actual trees.
actual trees.
Oh, good.
They
Mhm.
made the road open up another 10 feet.
Wow, really?
They did a nice job.
They did
Long time coming, but they did a nice job.
They did Charles Oates Road last year, it was good.
Makes a big difference.
Yep.
Alright, and we're all set. Doug, you're up.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Who seconded it?
I did.
You did, okay.
That, oh, you know about that, or whatever.
Okay,
I'll
well,
be in touch with